So as the new Tesla truck is now finally being delivered to people, it reminded me of another as of unyet delivered promise, the Tesla Roadster. But one of the most important things about the Tesla Roadster was that it came with these thrusters, like clearly not going to be flying, and I remembered a few little things. First was that the 0 to 60 time was going to be less than 2 seconds, but you could get it down to 1.1 with air thruster rockets. Now, I know what you may be thinking. Yes, cars can actually accelerate that fast without thrusters, but those are usually top fuel dragsters, and there's a slight possibility that they're not very good for road use. So I started thinking about thrusters. And then I realized that recently I've done videos with thrusters, but I've not compared the types of thrusters I've done. Do you remember this one? Well, this one creates a vertical thrust for more traction. Now, I have actually used proper thrusters in the past compared to a fan, and they were a lot better. So we're not actually going to be using a fan in today's video. And then we've got this bad boy. That was the wrong button. This is the right button. You got those lovely thrusters popping out. And then I thought, actually, which one is faster? Vertical or horizontal thrust? More top speed or more handling? Well, I'm gonna compare the pair. Though I'm not gonna use this mod that I've pre-made already, I am gonna be using a completely custom thing, and it's just gonna be very rudimentary, just so I can make a comparison of a one-to-one of the two. So, we're gonna have thrusters pushing down on each suspension component all around the car, and then we're going to have that, except going horizontally to push the car forward on each corner. So 4 thrusters each. And then we're going to take it to a map where I think is fairly balanced between straight and corners. And I'm thinking that this track, Bathurst, is going to be where it's at. You've got here your lovely long straights, and this thing is just going to absolutely blitz it. I think we're going beyond like top speeds now, but then you got to brake for a very, very long distance. Then you're dealing with a very, very nasty section of track where you're gonna have to be doing a lot of cornering. And this is where I think the good balance comes in, because this cornering is not just straightforwards. This is a lot of technicalities here, where thrust is gonna be a little bit helpful, but not a lot helpful. Oh dear, oh, nope, we've had an oopsie. And to start this off, we're going to pick probably the Rally, since I think it's probably the best car out of all of these. And we're gonna work with a completely unmodified car this time. That way I don't have to try to get permission for people like I did the last time. And we're just going to start with a new J-beam. Though, you know what, actually, I'm gonna start with a completely new one. We're gonna work with old stuff and just kind of repurpose it because I'm lazy. So, vehicles. City bus. Let's bring out the chassis, and then there's like a rear chassis or something. Bring the rear subframe over as well. Then open up Blender and import said J-beam, and then I know which ones I'm going to be pulling from. F4, we're also going to import our vertical JATO. Now, where are you? Oh my god, you're all the way over there. We're going to keep JATO 6 only, since that's the one that creates the thrust. And the node we're looking for is FS1L. FS1L. We're just going to copy this location data and plop it in here. Except it's going to be like 5 centimeters higher. So this is going to go to a 9 and perfectamundo. Let's also grab ourselves a DAE of the city buses JATO, which are ginormous. Then move them into place. Though this is going to take a little, yep, there. It's going to take a little bit of effort. Then all of you are going to line up on where that fender is. You know, actually, I don't think I need any of this except for the funnel part, and the rest can just be pretend to be hidden underneath. So let's go ahead and delete that. And then you can basically go there. As for beams, we also don't need any of these beams, only just the one J-term. Then we have to make the thrusters. So the second one is the one that is the actual thrust point. This is going to be FS1L and then FS1R. Then duplicate these, and that's going to be rear, rear, and I think this is RS1L. Now what we're gonna do is connect it to a bunch of things, and that's gonna be interesting. Let's clean up everything else. Main materials. All we need is shock diamonds and Citybus J-term. So, in the materials section, lights can go away, but we're gonna be keeping everything else here. Now, if we're lucky, we'll oh wait, no, that's the wrong, Control L, then go into the parts menu, and yep, it's not, oh, no it is there. Perfect, vertical J-term rockets, what do we get? Some problems. Do they even show up? Probably, let's pause and refresh. I don't see them. Frick. Failed to render mesh scintilla GTR okay, well that's nothing to do with me. VX node not found. Oh, I'm an idiot. Okay. In here, we're gonna duplicate this, then also give it something like a scintilla chassis. For the rear though, that's gonna get a subframe group. Now for clear that, Control R, we should have some things popping into existence. Okay, well, why not? You know what? It might be because I didn't apply it to everything, because I'm a derpmeister. Control R will then... There we go. I could sink it down a little bit more to make it look like it's actually inside of it though. Wait, what? Why is it showing up on the front but not the rear? Unpausing because... What? I know what I did wrong. I made a whole bunch of like rear dependent flex bodies, but I didn't call upon them. As you can see, these are all exactly the same. So we just gotta put in R for it to be the rear mesh. I'm so dumb. Now when we refresh, it'll still crash, but at least the things should be in the rear here. Yep, we're gonna have to lift it up a little, baby. Actually, you know what? That kind of works. Okay. It's these that are too high. At the moment, I'm guessing the thrusters weigh a lot. Yes, they do. And that means that the spring deform and damp and all that is all set way too high, and it's trying to connect to things that are not that heavy. So, these, okay, well, you know what? They weigh about 10. Frick. Well, that's fine. Let's go on and make them all weigh about 10. Then... let's find beam, spring, and damp and put that in here. Now if we refresh. Frick. Okay, I ended up just reverting that one, then turning this down by a factor of 10. And traction! Free traction! With no extra real inertia. I mean, there's extra 40 kilos, but I mean, that's the difference between me on a good day and me after having Hungry Jacks. We might be generating a little too much thrust though, as you can see. It like clearly goes down then hits the absolute limit of the suspension. If we bring this out, how much weight are we putting on? So, like nearly a ton. We're adding over 500 kilos per corner. I think it might be a bit much. We do happen to have a spring rate adjuster. Let's max you out. Let's go for a bit of a drive. Is it scraping? I can't tell. We might actually also have to adjust front to rear, because it might have too much front traction. I mean, I'm not seeing any scrapingness. Oh dear. I should probably be racing with a controller instead of mouse and keyboard. And how does it handle? I suppose I should add like a ratio thing. Oh, okay, it's also set to the throttle, which is not great. If I just turn that on... Okay, now it stays on all the time. Okay, that's weird. I didn't realize that if you put it on full throttle, it'll also do that. Now I suppose let's get on to making the forwards one. So let's duplicate all of these except put a H on it so then we know that this is the horizontal version. Then go here to the vertical JTO, copy, paste, clean that up and change this to horizontal. And all of this is looking fairly good. So save that, then delete vertical JTOM and import the new JBeam. Wait, no, I don't need to do that. I know that all it is that I'm doing is getting rid of how far I moved this forward, which I think was 5 centimeters. Then on the y-axis, we're going to be moving it backwards. So then instead of firing that way, it'll be firing that way, which is backwards, which is more positive. And rotate 90. And we're probably gonna have to do something about the fact that this doesn't look right. I mean, on the back, it's probably not gonna be so bad because all they're gonna do is just basically fire out backwards, but the front ones are gonna be firing into the body. So, we're gonna have to fake this a little bit. I'm thinking there and then have it angle up a little bit. Even though it's not actually going upwards, it's going forwards only. Then here, these can also move up just a little bit. Horizontal JTOM. And I mean, the front ones are almost working. The rear ones, way too low. Probably about there. Back into BeamNG. That's looking a little bit better. What does the bottom end of these look like? Because I've not looked at that before. It's passable. What about back here now? Close. How about thrusting? I feel like it's kind of thrusting the wrong way. Is something going on? Wait. Oh. Wait. I think I understand. JTO is behind. Good. Coming back here. The JTO is in front. Okay. How did that happen? Huh. I didn't give them the same values. Okay, grab rear right, add it to rear left, save. Then when we take leave the handbrake on, turn the thrusters on, it is now almost perfectly pushing forwards, but at least it looks like the thrust is even. And if we turn the handbrake off, yes, okay, it is not turning either way, which is pretty good. It's turning a little bit left. But I think that'll be acceptable. We've got all of the thrusters working, that's all good, except for one thing. People like to tune their cars to have proper weight balance, and I'm probably going to want to do that too. So if we go back to vertical, I'm going to want to have a way to still have only the same amount of thrust, but to be able to take it from one and add it to the other. So this is going to be bracket, $, for some reason, thrust balance. And with that written out, we're going to take thrust balance and the quotation mark, $ equals the thing I said times that end quotation mark. That should give us more thrust on the front when applied. So if we're going the front ones here, then to the rear instead, what we're going with is, oh dear, shoot, how do I do this? I think we should go bracket, take thrust balance, which means let's say we have 0.5. 0.5 of this would, no, shoot. It would be oh, no, I had it right. Yes, no, that's correct. So let's just have a look. We turn the thrust on. It goes fairly evenly. Where's the thrust? Okay, perfect. Let's move it to the front 100% of the way. Then if we turn the thrusters on, we can see that it all goes to the front. Move it all the way to the rear and then apply that. It now goes all the way to the... Perfect. Okay. Whew. Let's go give this a try in the old sim rig then. Okay. I've done a lot of tuning, and I don't know if it's really helped, but anything more than 5% bias to the front on these thrusters tends to make it incredibly oversteer. And the one thing I've learned is I am terrible at this. So I'm gonna try to do some laps, then I'm gonna hand it over to my friend Cesaru, who's basically my residential BeamNG Stig. So, even though full throttle on puts the thrusters on, that's not enough for us. We want it for brakes, and if we try to take off, you'd see it's fluttering a little bit there. That's to do with the fact that it's trying to do ABS. And when it does ABS, sorry, not ABS, traction control, when it tries to do that, it deactivates the thrusters and it causes problems. So, thrusters on, full throttle, and away we go. You'd see that I've done like 30 tries here. That's because a lot of testing to see like what the limits are and what I could, and immediately I'm off. Get on that power as soon as possible because this is a long straight, so you want to have the braking and turning done ASAP, and now we go down to the first corner. And and brake really super late. Turn in. Get those revs up with downshifting. I'm all over the goddamn place. Then slow down super late there as well. Usually you're having to slow down much earlier. You know what? I didn't do a control. You know what? Frick it. I'm gonna only do 2 test laps here. Then I'm gonna do a before and after on my normal stomping grounds, Laguna Seca. It's really bouncing off the bump stops here. Okay, you know what? I have to retry. Oh dear. Knocked a mirror off, but that's fine. Going down this with forward thrust is going to be so much better. You know what? Don't need to brake so early. Get down into the right gear. Probably could have taken that a lot faster. I'll leave that to Cesario. Oh, we're off the track. No! Come on, we were doing so well! Had to lift there because it was getting a bit dicey. And super late braking. Oh, that was a little too late. I expected it to be a little bit better than that, but there we go. A 2 minute and 2.5 second. Okay, what a nightmare trying to push this thing to its like absolute limit. It becomes very inconsistent. The fact that it's running on those goddamn bump stops. Now, let's switch over to horizontal. Thrusters on. Okay, well, nope, that's a problem. Yeah, I'm gonna have to remember to thruster all the time. Every time I get to a straight. And I'm gonna have to brake earlier. And I'm gonna have to remember to brake earlier. So, here we go. Oh. Okay. It's... my brain isn't working very well. It's stuck on. Okay. No using the thruster. It'll come on automatically when full throttling. Okay, let's do it. Hey, braking much sooner. Oh, we just don't have the traction anymore. And clutch on. Oh, wait, full throttle clutch on. Damn it! Oh, this is gonna take some getting used to. Okay, clutch in, full thruster on. Nope! Damn it! It becomes very, very unstable! Oh my god, I am so flustered. I think I'm only going to do it on the big straights, because otherwise my brain just can't keep up with the amount of, like, button pressing I have to do. Jada off. Gonna regain control. Nope! Okay. Braking distance needed to be so much longer now. Okay. Braked super early that time. Okay. Now we're just driving a normal car that won't handle very well up the hill. This is gonna be ridiculous. Okay, we have to brake earlier. We don't have that traction on turn-in or anything that we had before. Don't mind me. Just full pucker moments all the time. Oh, we're going so much slower. But yet, still not slow enough. Just a little bit of a punch there. Nah, that's thrown me off. No. And I've thrown myself off. I don't think I can do this. I think I'm just gonna have to hand it over to Cesari. This is... Okay. We're giving it to Cesari. Then I'm gonna go and do Laguna Seca.
After quite a few attempts with all 3 cars, I would say the stock car really struggles here. The vertical thruster car is a lot like the fan car. Very, very, very planted. And then the horizontal thruster car is basically just the Batmobile. Spectacle and flashy, but needs more downforce to actually do anything with it. Not the most practical. Now, if you mixed the latter 2, that would be a very fast car.
Well, he doesn't ask for much now, does he? But you know what? Today I learned that even Cesari has problems with trying to use a super fast scintilla. Oh yeah, and he also hates mirrors. But here we are, finally. We're gonna round this off. I'm not gonna do the high speed one because that car is just an absolute nightmare to drive. And this one was by far and away the absolute fastest car out of all of them. So we're just gonna do a little bit with this and we're gonna see if we can absolutely annihilate the fan car. Now, unlike him, I don't have the dexterity to be able to push the thruster every single time just before braking and turning, all that sort of stuff. Too much is going on, my brain just can't handle that sort of like hopscotch of button presses and things. So, thrusters on maximum, start, wait, nope, okay, I'll have to press start the race manually. And it should be set to manually, but just in case. Okay, there's that traction control off the line. Doesn't do too much traction control off the line because it is getting a lot more traction than normal. Can brake super late going into the corner. And then you can accelerate quite hard coming out of it. Now, he did say that this vehicle handled very strangely with the always vertical thrusters. And he was saying how it was just problematic to drive. That's why he was doing it for corners only, I think, was what he was trying to convey to me. Yeah, hitting on those bump stops, not the cleanest driving thing. Oh god, I think I'm doing this car dirty with like really poor driving right now. I might have to do a little bit of a full sweat mode after this. Yep, that went bad. I feel that this isn't creating as much traction as I'd hope. Oh god, what was with that frame lag this then? That was weird. Brake super late. Going into the corkscrew, one of the most famous bits of track in the world. Mostly thanks to Gran Turismo. Otherwise, nobody outside of America would probably know about this track, to be honest. Oh god. No, this has gone really bad. How am I so bad at driving? I think I understand what he means. This thing is weird at driving. And final corner, braking super late, but still not gonna ride that inside curb. And push it out towards the end. Okay, this is gonna be the first slab I've done a fresh install of Windows recently. So now we have a 125. Oh my god, I'm pretty sure that beats it by like 10 seconds, right? Hold on, I have to go look at my references here. Yeah. That is nearly 10 seconds faster. Shy of a second, but still, holy cow. This thing is insanely fast. I was expecting this to be a little bit more of a balance thing between speed and cornering, and can be honest, I actually thought that maybe the straight line might have the advantage, but this thing just becomes so incredibly unstable at high speeds, and the fact that BeamNG doesn't really have, what's that word? Aerodynamics. So it's a really just difficult car to drive even at the best of times. All in all though, it's a very fun experiment to see whether handling or top speed is the most important. Now, I could have done something like Le Mans, but that really does favor the straight maybe a little too much. So I wanted something that was quite balanced, and that seemed like a track that was very balanced, though your mileage will vary depending on the track. And as you can see, it's just driving in a straight line. Nigh impossible in this thing. It's so hard to do. For now though, guys, I would like to thank my channel members, and that specifically includes the Rogue Tick, the Crayon Priest. Thank you very much for being a top tier channel member for so long. But for everyone else though, I'll catch you all next time. Goodbye.